Hey guys, it's Josh back here doing an update video with the system in the Taurus. Finally got everything installed, and just going to show you guys start to finish the whole full install and everything in it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. But took plenty of time. In fact, I finally got sleep last night. I was up for a couple days straight. You know, I'm not one guy to take long on things. I like to, get things done no matter how long it takes. Kind of like my 18 install. Me and my brother worked on it all night, all day. And so, anyways, this is a system update for the Taurus, and I'll do an overview now. And by the way, I'll be doing a flex video, but showing the system playing and stuff, but that'll probably be a little bit. This is going to be an overview for night. It's already a little bit dark out, but anyways, guys, I'm going to start under the hood here. Basic wiring and stuff. Got the C&D, the 300mr, same I had under the Camry. That and the 4-channel are the same, by the way, that were in the Camry. Just right here, by the way. Here's a new car, but anyways, we got the wire in here. With this new battery and the bolt terminals, I had to do the factory wiring, like right here. I put them into big lugs, and then that's what these are. Then I got 0 gauge to the back. I did the big 3 upgrade, so I got the battery ground. This is a unibody like the Camry, so unfortunately I just had to do the strut mounts as grounds. And I got the block ground right there, another 0 gauge. And this was a pain, but that alternator, it's hard to see, it's way down in there. It's 130 amp, and that was quite a chore. It took me a couple hours just to get the lug on there, but I got the factory one on there still, and this 0 gauge. And so that's for the big 3. If you guys have Tauruses and you're trying to do the alternator wire for the big 3, there's a little tab on each side of the factory plug that will not allow you to put another lug on there. You actually have to break them off, and it's just plastic, but it's pretty hardened plastic, so I had to break those off to be able to fit 2 lugs on the bolt. But like I said, it's a factory alternator now. In the future, I may be going with a high output alternator. We'll just have to see what money's like, but definitely going to be going with excessive amperage again. Just have to check that out. And then I got the wire from front to back for the 4-channel. I always do the front battery, even though people say to do the rear battery for the 4-channel also. I only have the rear battery on the 1700 right now. I do this just so if I ever do take out my battery or the system in the back, I can still have vocals up front. So that's under the hood, guys, and that's the big 3. On to the back. Alright guys, here's inside the car. We got the same head unit out of the Camry. It's a Pioneer DEH 9400 BH, one of the newest 2012 model at the time. Got my Stinger voltmeter right there, and here I got all this kind of good stuff. There's the silver switch you see there is the bass amp switch on the remote line, so I can shut that off if I only want vocals. And in each door, I have 6.5-inch Crossfire M6s. I had to make adapter plates because this comes factory with 4x6s. And then I also have the C5 tweeters up on the A-pillars. And they turned out nicely. Angle mounts. So, here's the other door. Sorry, it's kind of dark. But that's the best I can do. There's my bass knob right there. It's an inline RCA bass knob made by Scosche. And it actually works good for a Scosche product. Let's see what else here. Here's the back view of the... see if we can get some more light on the situation. That's the back of the box, and there's the 4-channel there. Crossfire 200.4, and this is the bass amp, which is a Crossfire BMF 1700. And I'll get closer view on that and do some more explaining here in a second. Alright guys, I know it's dark out, and it's kind of lame to use a flashlight, but I wanted to throw a video up ASAP, because I've been wanting to for the last couple of days and just haven't had time. We're working so much, but close up with the amps in the back of the box. This is the Crossfire 200.4. RCA's over there. And I did make a 3/4-inch amp rack. And this side, got the power wires right there. And the speaker wires, all for all the speakers. I only am running front stage in this car, like the Camry, just the front. The rear 6x9s up there in the rear deck. The factory ones are still there, I just don't have anything wired up. I have the tweeters wired on the front channels, and on the rear channels on the amp I have the M6 mids. And I got it all tuned nice, it sounds good. All you really need is front stage, and that way I can give more power to them. I don't really see a need for the rear stage, at least in my setup. I'm cool with it, because when I demo up front anyways, it's only me up front and the passenger, so... Anyways, There's the RCAs and the 8 gauge for the subs. Over here we got the power for the 1700. 0 gauge running to the back. I'll show that in a minute where the battery is. Now here's the back of the box here. Now a lot of people are going to say, oh, it looks like you wired the coil on each sub together and then you just run in one coil. It looks like that because the way it's wired. It's not. I didn't wire how you usually wire it. I got coil. There's a line. This is negative, positive, and positive, negative. I did it so it looks cool when you wire it. That's why I did it this way. So you have the loops and it all looks nice and neat. But this is one coil on one side of the sub, and this is one coil on the other side of the sub. If you look at the 12volt.com, it resembles this wiring. So it made it easy because I'm a visual kind of guy, and it looks good. And these are all wired, dual 2 subs, all wired down to 1 ohm. So it all links together, and then it goes from here to the amp. Right there. So now, onto the back. Alright guys, here it is. The 4 Crossfire C5 10s in a big old box. It did slide in the trunk. I did build it outside, and I can slide it in and out. Let's see, here's the wiring from the 1700 up there. Comes back, there's the wire from the front. Goes in here. And the red wire is the positive on the amp, and this is the negative. And this other wire is the ground that goes down. It's a unibody, so I had to ground it to the per se frame rail, or whatever you want to call it, like the Camry. And yes, that is a Sprinter 500. It's a 106-pound battery and 165 amp hours. It's very big. And like I said, it's got the jumper cables and whatever. But this box is 4.6 cubes after sub and port displacement. The port is 2.5 inches, but goes all the way across the bottom, and it goes all the way to the back. So, except, you know, a few inches in the back. But my Crossfire logo all across, 30-inch sticker, very nice. I like to represent Crossfire as much as possible. Got DJ Designs too. Also check out our page on DJ Designs. There's all our installs and stuff. Got a little bit of audio techniques to put on my license plate because unfortunately the license plate's on the trunk lid, and we all know how much that rattles. So we're going to be getting some more audio techniques to put on the trunk here to make it less rattly. And DJ Slow are there. Anyways, Crossfire subs, I must say, for C5s, man, they sound great. Very musical, and like this is only the 3rd day I've been playing them. And I got the amp gain turned down a little bit just because it's stock alternator. We don't want to kill voltage. I keep it above 13. I like high voltage. I know the amps are rated at low 12s, you know, but still. I always like good voltage. In Texas, it gets hot, so we want to keep the amps cool and run it. It still sounds real good, though. You got the C510s, like I said, and they all fit real nice, and still got plenty of space here for the port to go around, and it goes around the side of the box. It's a somewhat of a tight fit, but it's 32 inches wide, 14.5 inches tall, and 30 inches deep, I believe. Pretty sure. I could get back to you on the dimensions if you want to know for sure, but anyways, and real quick here, that ground you saw from the battery goes out. There's a perfect little hole, and it goes out and connects to the rail right there, and that is not 1/0. That's actually 3/0, and it has a perfect little factory hole right there. So, anyways, I know I'm rambling on, going into way too much detail, but if you guys are ever wondering, you know, that's what it is. Also, I almost forgot, these little wires here are the wires that go into the lugs that go for the voltmeter up front. So anyways, that's a real big overview, a lot of explanation. I know it's going to be a long video here, but that's an overview of the system completely from start to finish, up front to the back. And if you have any more questions, let me know, and hopefully, like I said, I can hopefully get a video up soon of it on playing, but it might be a while just because, you know, trying to do work a couple jobs and doing other things on the side, so got quite a few things going on 7 days a week. So that's why this is at night, and sorry for the poor lighting and just the lame flashlight, but I wanted to get a video up ASAP. Let me know what you think. Check the description in the video for the description of the system and all, and check out DJ Designs on Facebook. I'll put a link in the description. If you want to see like the pictures of this, I'm going to try to get them up. But anyways, like I said, 4 C510s, Crossfire BMF 1700, and got the 500 in the trunk, Crossfire 200.4, the VRA 200.4 on 2 M6 mids and C5 tweeters. Got the big 3 up front, all 0 gauge. So real nice setup, and Crossfire for the win.